Our lead story of the day is regarding the U.S. Department of Energy coming out and saying that they have intelligence that COVID-19 was leaked from a lab in Wuhan, China. And if you recall, we could never say such a thing before for literally years for fear of being banned or removed from social media by these big tech companies because there was a conspiracy theory. It was Russian disinformation. It was Russian misinformation, whatever it may be. You couldn't talk about it. And now all of a sudden you can just talk about it willy-nilly years later. Well, we got all the details for you. But before we jump into all that, make sure you head over to our new website, baldbrad.com, which is a one-stop shop for y'all. Link is in the description. You can catch our podcast there. You can watch our YouTube videos, read our blog posts. We got it all for you. And if you didn't hear the big reveal over the weekend, we also got a book launching March 13th on Amazon as well as Barnes & Noble's titled Trojan Horse, How the Left is Destroying America. Folks, this book completely obliterates and destroys the progressive left and the Democrat Party's ideology, because it is their ideology that is going to destroy this country from the inside out, much in the same way of how the Greeks sent in the Trojan horse during the Trojan War to destroy Troy from the inside out. The progressive left's ideology is going to do the same thing with the United States unless we recognize it and equip ourselves with the information we need to dismantle and destroy their narrative, their ideology, and the book does just that. If you love Ben Shapiro, Michael Knowles, Andrew Klavan, Matt Walsh, the guys from the Daily Wire, if you love Charlie Kirk, Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson, all the big conservatives, Republicans, you're going to love this book, folks. It's a must read. You could buy the ebook now and pre-order a paperback and hardcover version as well by heading over to Barnes & Noble's or Amazon or clicking the link on our website. Make sure you pre-order yourself a book today. Again, it releases March 13th. And if that wasn't enough, we also got a store here for y'all. We got merch. If you go again to our store on baldbrad.com, you can get yourself a t-shirt right now. These shirts are awesome. They're awesome quality, and they look really sick, folks. We got our own image. We got our own setup. We got mugs. We got hats. We got stickers. We got hoodies. We got it all, folks. Head over to baldbrad.com if you haven't already. Get yourself the book. Get yourself some merchandise, some swagger, and look good and look like an American patriot, because let's be honest, folks, Bald Brad Show viewers are American patriots, and we uphold the values of this great nation. Again, head over to baldbrad.com or get yourself a copy at Amazon or Barnes & Noble's. Your help and support would be greatly appreciated. Well, again, our lead story of the day is regarding the U.S. Department of Energy coming out and saying, hey, we got intelligence that COVID-19 was leaked from a lab in Wuhan. And you got Fauci coming out and saying, well, we don't have enough energy about it. We don't have enough information. We don't have enough this, right? And always fighting with Rand Paul and everything like that. And we couldn't even talk about it because we would be banned. We would be removed off social media if we were to say such a thing, because it was misinformation. It was disinformation. It was Russian this. It was China that, whatever it may be from the progressive left Democrat Party, whatever nonsense it was. Well, now it's coming out that the stuff is legit, and you got people all up in arms. And you also have the Jake Sullivan here, the national security advisor, sitting there rubbing the shoulders of China once again because Joe Biden's in bed with the Chinese. Well, let's see what he has to say from this question on CNN about the whole thing of the U.S. Energy Department having this intelligence. Go ahead and roll it.
Before I let you go, I want to ask about a new Wall Street Journal report out this morning that a classified intelligence report from the Department of Energy concludes that the coronavirus pandemic most likely did not emerge naturally, but it did come from a laboratory leak. Did the coronavirus pandemic start in a lab?
It is amazing that even CNN is talking about this now, because CNN was one of the people that didn't believe the whole thing of the Wuhan lab leak. But now it's just coming out like, oh, let's just talk about it now. Let's just ask the question as if nothing ever happened. As if nothing ever happened with it.
What you believe now?
Well, Dana, there is a variety of views in the intelligence community. Some elements of the intelligence community have reached conclusions on one side, some on the other. A number of them have said they just don't have enough information to be sure. Here's what I can tell you. President Biden has directed repeatedly every element of our intelligence community to put effort and resources behind getting to the bottom of this question. And one of the things in that Wall Street Journal report.
He can't even get to the bottom line of shooting a balloon out of the sky. We still haven't heard from the guy on that. He hasn't really given us much of anything over a balloon, let alone an actual massive pandemic that literally wiped out millions of people. We're expecting answers from Joe Biden. The guy again can't even figure out what he shot down out of the sky. We had eyes on it. We actually have video and camera footage of it, and he still can't figure it out. But yeah, he's supposed to give us the answers about the pandemic. Yeah, okay.
Which I can't confirm or deny, but I will say the reference to the Department of Energy, President Biden specifically requested that the national labs, which are part of the Department of Energy, be brought into this assessment because he wants to put every tool at use to be able to figure out what happened here. And if we gain any further insider information, we will share it with Congress and we will share it with the American people. But right now, there is not a definitive.
Does anybody that's an avid viewer of the Bald Brad Show, honest to God, really believe that? Oh, well, we'll actually share it with you. Again, we shot like 4 objects out of the sky weeks ago. You literally had the train derailment in Ohio. Hey, the air's fine, folks, as there's a huge plume of black smoke just going over the sky that's enveloping multiple states, that the water's not drinkable because literally you have fish and animals dying in the area. It's infecting their crop, seeping into the soil, and you have the government, the Biden administration going, hey, just soak it all in. It's really good for you. You're going to be fine. As like literally there's paint falling off people's cars from the acid rain that's coming out of the sky. And they're going to tell us, they have the balls to tell us on live TV that they're going to tell us if they have any new information on China in the lab of the leak of COVID-19. Yeah, right. Sure, Joe.
Answer that has emerged from the intelligence community on this.
Oh, God. Okay, give me a break. Well, that kind of led to Ted Cruz coming out and torching the Washington Post fact checker over the new Chinese lab leak. So Senator Ted Cruz mocked the Washington Post over the weekend on fact checker Glenn Kessler on Sunday over the release of the new U.S. intelligence report that shows that one federal agency believes the coronavirus pandemic originated from the Chinese lab leak. A lot of people believe that it released from lab leak. I mean, pretty much if you don't, you've been living under a rock. I mean, at first it started right from the market itself, and people like eating bats and stuff like that, and it came from some animal. And then we really got more information, and one of the main theories at the beginning was it came from Wuhan lab leak. Well, the U.S. Department concluded, the U.S. Department of Energy, that the origin of the pandemic was likely a lab leak in Wuhan, China, the Wall Street Journal reported on Sunday. The FBI also believes that the pandemic originated from a Chinese lab leak. The conclusion was a result of a newly discovered intelligence and is significant because the agency has considerable scientific expertise and oversees a network of U.S. national laboratories, some of which conduct advanced biological research, which I was told we don't really do. We don't do gain of function research, according to Fauci. We don't do any of that. No, that's preposterous. No, not at all. Back in May 2020, Cruz responded to a tweet from Kessler that claimed that it was doubtful the pandemic originated from a lab leak. You couldn't even like have it being a possibility. That was the thing that really irked me. It was never even questionable that it was possible. Like, there's no way it could possibly happen. And now here it comes out. Well, amazing. It's definitely right word for this video. WAPO abandoning all pretenses of journalism to produce CCP propaganda would be another way to put it, Cruz said. If this reporter submitted this video in a freshman logic class, it wouldn't receive a passing grade. Well, in today's education, Ted, it probably would, to be quite honest, but that's a whole nother topic for another day. But Cruz proceeded to post a lengthy thread explaining everything that was known at the time. Quote, I fear at Ted Cruz missed the scientific animation in the video that shows how it is virtually impossible for this virus jump from the lab, Kessler responded at the time, or the many interviews with actual scientists. We deal with the facts, and viewers can judge for themselves. Well, Cruz hopped on and responded to the tweet Sunday, again, just yesterday, with a screenshot of the Wall Street Journal report, which featured the title, Lab Leak, Most Likely Origin of COVID-19 Pandemic, U.S. Agency Now Says. So a big slap in the face with Kessler down there. But, hey, all the scientists were talking about it, folks. All the scientists said so that it was probably impossible. I mean, you literally have Fauci on camera many times saying, it ain't happening, man. It ain't happening. Excuse me, Senator. Excuse me, Senator. You don't know what you are talking about. Well, we got Steve Guest, special advisor for communications for Cruz, also hit Kessler on time over the new report, calling it Kessler's biggest miss ever. Not wrong. So that's the most news we got right now with just whatever's going on with the Wuhan lab leak, because you got Joe Biden saying, "Oh, well, we'll give you the most up-to-date information." It's been years. It's literally been years since we've heard anything. Where is China being penalized at all on this? Where is all the news media coming out and saying, "Hey, what's going on? Why is Joe Biden not looking into this further? Why don't we have answers years later?" Well, I'll tell you why we don't have years later, because you got Joe Biden running office. We're not going to get any answers till that guy's kaput and gone. But let me know what you think about this one, folks. I'll continue to bring you the most updated information that we can get our hands on here regarding this new report from the Washington Post as well as the Wall Street Journal, as well as the New York Times. Anybody and everybody can get their hands on this. We'll make sure we bring you the latest and greatest news. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.